go.
Yeah,
I mean, they do know who they're going to play.
Oh, come on. Give me points. Give me points.
Well, I should get a point for that as well, no?
You named like 20 comps, Nico.
I said Windwalker, Fire Mage, and I said Sea-Doo on the Mistweaver. Actually, no, Sea-Doo Jones. I get a half point. Ben called it spot on. You get a full point. I should get a half.
All right, here it is.
This
is actually going to be a really interesting matchup. So this is just one of those matchups where, for the team of Mystery Team, they're going to have a lot of burst onto WizK. This composition is very hit and run. It's durable. You can just run behind the pillar in line of sight when you really need to. And of course, both Trill and Sam I Am are going to be very, very tanky. 2 Peekaboo on that Rogue. And we'll have to see what the Golden Guardians can get done.
Well, triple crowd control. They've isolated Trill, but Abster just polymorph. You can't really support. They go for the Infernal, double Shadow Fury, sap off the blind. Nice crowd control from the Golden Guardians throughout this initial engagement, but Touch of Karma stabilizes Trill. They switch to Sam. He temporal shields the Chaos Bolt, line of sighting, and healing himself back to full. Both teams stabilize. Peekaboo chasing down Trill, but Sea-Doo is at his side, picking him up with the Avenging Wrath. Peekaboo pushed away. Trill switching back to WizK out in midfield. Sam I Am playing close to Absturge. Sea-Doo charging in. Is he going to get the Hammer of Justice? He's looking for it. He does. Polymorph to follow up. Maybe a swap. They're going on to Absturge a little bit. Trying to mix it up. He is going to just walk it off. Avenging Wrath is up. He should recover. Kidney shot on Trill. Sea-Doo responds with Avenging Wrath himself, but caught into a cheap shot. WizK moves in position for a Fear. Gets interrupted by Trill. Good disruption. Touch of Death is rolling. How is Absturge going to deal with the Touch of Death here? WizK breaks out, goes for a double Mortal Coil, healing himself back up to full. Nice deflection by the Golden Guardians. Absturge looking for Repentance. Sea-Doo needs to line of sight it. He cannot afford to get caught in one of those cast it freely by Absturge.
Absolutely not. And we'll see if they can actually get the crowd control out. And I think this is one of those things we're going to see a lot in North America. Right now, North America is a tale of paladins. There is so many paladins. Now, Sea-Doo going to be playing at Absurge as well, but WizK getting bursted down. Big damage coming in from Trill, that Windwalker Monk with the Tiger Eye Brew, piercing through all that Warlock armor, is going to be able to put out a ton of damage. We look at mana, though. Surprisingly, Sea-Doo's a bit behind. I feel like as this game goes deeper and deeper into dampening, that's really when we see Mystery Team start securing their lead. So Golden Guardians are going to have to keep doing these setups, try to get that pressure rolling. And I think if we see the game go to about 40% dampening, that's when it's going to be a real struggle for Absurge to actually keep WizK alive.
Absurge paralyzed, WizK stunned up, big hit by Sam I Am. Unending Resolve, will it be enough though? They're cutting right through it. They just slapped right through all of WizK's defense. And Mystery Org are going to take game number 1 with an explosive amount of burst.
WizK getting absolutely melted there. Let's break down those final moments, Zico. I mean, it sounded like you guys in the opener there, or in the beginning of that game, when you saw the comps being revealed, that you thought that game was going to go into deep dampening, but they were able to shut it down in under 3 minutes, I think it was. What exactly happened there, Zico?
Well, they had that super clean setup onto Absturge. Sam popped his combustion. They got the follow-up there with the blind from Sea-Doo. Basically, they just had a super clean go. And also defensive mistakes coming out from the Golden Guardians, I would say. I think Absturge might have had to use his bubble there, or I don't think Peekaboo's defensive smoke bomb there at the end was going to be enough there. So I think Absturge, as soon as he got caught up in that poly, and they were trying to greed it a bit, but they should have probably traded out either the Unending Resolve or, traded it out a little bit earlier, or traded out the Absturge's bubble. Actually, did he even have bubble? I don't think he had bubble at the end there.
He did not have bubble.
Well,
I don't think he could have any of it.
Yeah, just use Unending it a little bit earlier, I guess. I don't know. Mystery Org definitely bringing a lot of damage here. Is this because of the Warlock nerfs, you guys think? I swear a Warlock doesn't die that fast.
Well, remember, what's their name? There was one team in North America that was running this composition. The
M2KC.
Windwalker Fire Mage.
Brian.
Yeah. Was it M2KC? Actually,
no, it was Cerulean, right? Cerulean.
Yeah, I think it's M2KC. Cerulean, Drake.
And Drake.
So that composition,
right.
it always looked really, really solid into Destro Warlocks, and I mean, we were kind of wondering why no one else had really run it. Like, maybe they were just so much better at Fire Mage Windwalker Monk that no one else could run it. But it's a really good composition. Windwalker Monks absolutely shred Destruction Warlocks. Destruction Warlocks got very minor defensive nerfs, but for the most part, I mean, just the Windwalker Monk, you can gear yourself in a way where you're using like the Bile Tusk or the Bilestain Krog Tusk to give you poison damage if you have high uptime on a target. You run a ton of versatility, the Tiger Eye Brew, and it just allows you to put out a lot of damage. Samayam as well, you know, playing a ton of versatility. It's just you're so durable. It makes it really difficult for Peekaboo and WizK to actually set something up. And I think this might be a composition we see from a number of teams in North America.
Mm-hmm. And now Golden Guardians are down 1 point against Mystery Team here, Sea-Doo's team. And is this something that they maybe want to switch up? Like you guys were saying, there was a couple of moments there that they kind of made a few mistakes. Is Golden Guardians, though, going to try and play that same composition, do we think, Zico? Or do we think they're going to maybe switch it up a little bit?
I think they're going to swap out Absturge from the Pally to a Shaman for comfort. That's what I think.
You disagree, Ven?
No, I don't disagree. I was just looking at Trill's build. He's actually not running Tiger Eye Brew, which is really surprising to me, but opting for a little bit more defense with Grapple Weapon. And still, I'm surprised how much damage he was able to put out onto WizK in that matchup, basically soloing him there at the end. So I don't know what the Golden Guardians are going to get done. Maybe... Oh, they actually are... Okay, they're going to lock in the exact same composition. Just try to play it out a little bit better, but I don't know if they're favored in this one.
What about the map? Tiger's Peak here. Do you think that is that was Golden Guardians' map choice, and now we're seeing both of the compositions on the board here? Supatees, what do we think? What do we think this is gonna do for them?
They just want to play a standard game, I think. The only concern is that normally the Fire Mage Windwalker could just run laps and then kill the Warlock in dampening. Now they're able to kill the Warlock before dampening, and I think it still remains true that they could do a dampening kill as well. You can't play the Shadow Priest, I think, into the Holy Paladin. It's just not going to be a good matchup for WizK. You could have switched to the Shaman, like Zico pointed out, for comfort, but I mean, it might be better at this time. I like
that he didn't.
So, but this is more or less they.
You like Absurge on the Holy Paladin?
I think compositionally, yes, but based on experience, maybe as much experience he has on Shaman, that he might perform better with Shaman, even though if he was like a robot and played them both perfectly, Paladin would be better. I don't know. They're just trying to play the same game. They're basically just going to kind of brush that last one off, try and play as if this was game number 1, I think, and then maybe we see an adjustment after this.
Zico, what about you? Did you want to comment on that?
Well, I think Resto Shaman is typically what we would see from the Golden Guardians. Like, maybe they would go back to Resto Shaman, and if that didn't work, maybe they go back to Shadow Priest and, you know, play one game of just classic RPS. But I like that the Golden Guardians, at the end of the last split, they started playing, you know, a lot more Destro Warlock. They started bringing out the Paladin, and I'm glad to see that they're still on that path. And, you know, Absturge feeling confident enough to bring it out a second time here. I do like that, because compositionally, if they can get this Rogue, Holy Paladin, Destro Warlock down, this is going to be exactly what they need to deal with some of the comps that they cannot beat as that Rogue Shadow Priest Shaman. So I think for Golden Guardians, this is a really good like kind of moment for them to grow if they keep playing these comps.
All right, well, we'll find out shortly enough. Is Golden Guardians going to be able to tie it up to 1-1 versus Sea-Doo team, or are they gonna get a 2-0 here against Golden Guardians?
I think they're in a good spot.
Definitely have to see. Yeah, I think they're in a good spot as well. So I think there might be something going on with, like, us cutting each other off. I'm sorry about that, Sid.
It's okay. I understand. You're a mage, okay? You've got that reduced cooldown interrupt, and then I play balanced here. I got that 1 minute, so it's fine. Sea-Doo blinded. Everybody's crowd controlled. And Sea-Doo's sitting through it. He's not using Blessing of Protection. Sam is denying the connect with that Temporal Shield, and they make it through blind without really trading anything. That's a great start for Mystery Org.
I mean, it definitely is. Mystery Org, they're going to be looking to put out a ton of damage here onto WizK when they can. Paralyzed now onto Absurge into a full Blinding Light. Crowd control has been secured. Sea-Doo even throwing in some damage. Hammer of Justice now onto Absurge, and these crowd control chains are absolutely insane. WizK still getting low. Samayam and Trill just decimating WizK, but Does look like he will be able to hold on. He didn't have to use the unending resolve, but that was his trinket. Abster's throwing out some defense as well, but he just can't top off WizK. What is going on right now? The damage from Trill is absolutely crazy.
I mean, he is well versed on that Windwalker monk. Years and years of experience, BlizzCon champion. I wouldn't be surprised to see this type of performance. Abster just charging in. He's looking for a hammer. Is he going to find it? Actually, a Repentance. Sidu just line of sights him nonchalantly. They set up with a cheap shot, but no one's in line of sight. They try and fear it. They don't find the fear. Sidu pre-sacrifices all the crowd control. Stabilizing here with a Divine Favor in a moment. Double Mortal Coil, denying the Polymorph. Here, into the kidney shot. Good control by Peekaboo and WizK onto Sam. Sidu's sacrifice, though, got a lot of value, and they're actually just immediately using the Unending Resolve at a higher health margin, not wanting to get blasted down, but the pressure is just non-stop here from Mystery Org. If they can keep this up, I mean, Absterge is running out of cooldowns. They overlap a bit here on Sidu. The Hammer of Justice and Fear at the same time, a miscommunication. Sidu gets out of that crowd control, immediately stabilizes Sam, stuns Absterge on his Hammer of Justice, or on his Repentance. Double leg sweep by Trill, setting up for the Poly. Peekaboo breaks up to stop the Polymorph, but Absterge Divine Shields anyway. The damage is overwhelming. He needs to get some big heals here onto WizK, and man, Trill on this Windwalker, it's nice to see him back in form.
I mean, Samayam and Trill are just absolutely destroying WizK in this game. Sidu actually using the Blessing and Protection on the blind. Now a blinding light onto Absterge, and WizK could just fall over. There's no unending resolve. Double Mortal Coil coming in into a fear. Nicely done. Samayam interrupting the Chaos Bolt. Now, here's where the damage is really going to land with a Polymorph onto Absterge. A DR Polymorph as well. What are they going to be able to do? Infernals get dropped down. WizK and the Golden Guardians are looking to reverse the pressure here. They need crowd control on Sidu. This is his Avenging Wrath right now, so his heals are empowered. And it just seems like Samayam and Trill are basically immortal to this composition. There was one moment in the game where Samayam got pressured, but I'm pretty sure that was the Vendetta and the Drestagath from Peekaboo. And unfortunately, they weren't even able to get the Cauterize out. So Golden Guardian is going to have to mix it up a little bit, because it seems like with the way this game's playing out, they're definitely not winning it.
Oh, Dark Soul's up, and it just faded. WizK gets no value there on his Dark Soul. He's caught in a double stun, devastating. WizK breaks out, but Absterge is stun locked. This could be it. Vitality Conduit rolls. A Polymorph lands. It's a full Polymorph. Vitality Conduit's over. Peekaboo tries to stabilize, stunning up Samayam. Going for a Smoke Bomb. Lobbying some Chaos Bolts, but now they're in position for a double Blinding Light. WizK spam-fearing Trill trying to stall as long as he can. There's a Blessing and Protection, but he wants to line that up with the Touch of Death. Absterge in a tough position right now with Divine Favor, trying to go for a big heal. Doesn't want to get the spell stolen, counterspelled. He goes for it, gets the Holy Light, pops the Avenging Wrath. Needs to avoid Polymorph. He's not able to. A full Polymorph. No way to get out. Combustion pop. Touch of Death about to drop. WizK gates back over to Absterge. He bops off the Touch of Death just in time, but Samayam immediately strips it off. Peekaboo can't attack him now. Sam interrupted for a moment. Just spamming up Polymorph's trying to pause out here. Absterge charges in for Hammer. WizK goes for Fear. Good crowd control by the Golden Guardians. Do they have any damage, though, onto Sam is the question. Doesn't look like it. And Sam actually snipes a counterspell on Absterge that could put WizK behind. Goes for double Mortal Coil, triple Dragon's Breath, triple leg sweep, beautiful punish by the Mystery Org. Can they keep it up here? 17 seconds to that unending resolve. Can they get one more poly? No, they can't. Sacrifice slips through the cracks. WizK stays alive. Golden Guardians keep on trucking, but they are behind.
A little bit behind right now, but they actually have a slight mana lead. Full blind onto Sidu, immediate Divine Shield. That's a kidney shot Drestagath coming in from Peekaboo, that big burst damage. And Mystery Org is able to hold on. Chaos Bolt does land onto Samayam, and the Golden Guardians have somewhat stabilized. Dragon's Breath, Samayam looking for some sort of crowd control, but the Garrote silence into a fear. Peekaboo just controlling the entire team. Garrote on Samayam, Garrote on Sidu, cheap shot on Sidu, kidney shot on Samayam. Absolute control, but it's Absterge who's in the Hammer of Justice into a full Polymorph. And now both Peekaboo and WizK are good targets. Peekaboo, honestly, with no Cloak of Shadow and no Trinket, there is a great opportunity here for Mystery Org to make a swap onto him. Let's see if they're able to capitalize.
All right, let's see. They've already got Peekaboo low health. Absterge out of crowd control is charging in. Hammer of Justice down. Can he get a Repentance? Oh, they're actually switching to Sidu, trying to punish that sacrifice play. Is Sidu going to flop? He popped that Vitality Conduit. He's stabilizing himself. His whole team is rotted a bit, though. No Avenging Wrath for a little bit. It's going to be difficult for Sidu to heal through the pressure. Shadow Step kick by Peekaboo. Off to the side. Can he close it out here? Sidu doesn't have a lot of answers. They paralyze
One
Peekaboo.
shot.
They go for a spot to the rope. Big damage coming in from the Mystery Org. Excellent execution. Sidu baiting them out in the open and immediately closing it out. They're on to match point.
Mystery Orc now up 2-0 against Golden Guardians. Peekaboo going down at the end there. It looked like it was a bit of a back and forth though, Zico, until that very last moment. What exactly happened there? How was Mystery Orc able to turn it around?
Well, it was actually going pretty well this time around for the Golden Guardians. They were able to survive a lot of these setups that they were struggling with in game number 1. They were, actually forcing out, things like the Divine Shield, and they were having pretty decent pressure. Then they force out the Divine Shield. Peekaboo thinks, okay, I'm going to land the step kick. We're going to get a nice little stun, and we are going to be winning the game here. Problem, you're leaving Sam, one of the best mages in the game, free. He's going to land the Polymorph. Trill, of course, sets that up beautifully as well with the Paralyze into the leg sweep. Peekaboo completely out in the open, no trinket, completely exposed, no cooldowns on Absterge. You can actually see it here. This was so nice. Sam snipes out the poly, and then here he gets the spell on the fear right there by Sea-Doo, and beautiful one-shot right there by Trill, as well as Sam with that meteor damage. And Sea-Doo right there, canceling his Divine Favor to dispel Sam from that fear, because he knows the most important thing right now is that my team gets to play aggressive, not that I survive. So nice decision making there as well by Sea-Doo.
Indeed, and in that last series we saw those two powerhouses, Wildcard Gaming versus Xset. That turned into a 3-0. I'm not sure anyone was really expecting that. Now we have these two other NA powerhouses, Golden Guardians versus Mystery Orc, and it seems like this might be another 3-0 event. How likely do we think that is to happen?
Well, I think it's pretty likely at this point. It just seems like the composition that Mystery Orc has been practicing, it looks really, really strong. There's just not a lot of openings for the Golden Guardians. I think going after Sea-Doo, it looked like it was nice, but the problem is when you do that, you leave Sam I Am open, unfortunately, and he can set up, big one-shots onto Peekaboo. Trill did such a good job with his Transcendence there, transcending back, getting the Paralyze into the full leg sweep, and those are the kind of rinse-repeat setups we can see if the Golden Guardians just allow Trill and Sam I Am to kind of do their thing in the match.
Mm-hmm. And now the pressure is really on for Golden Guardians. They really need to win this next game, or they lose this in a 3-0. Supatis, what do you think their options are here? Like the pressure has really got to be on for these guys, Golden Guardians.
This is going to sound really random, but I actually feel like this is a case where Jelly Beans would actually be useful. I actually think like a Shadow Priest Hunter Paladin into this comp, like only as a one-time counter pick because you know what it is. I feel like it wouldn't do badly. You have good answers for Combustion with Roar of Sacrifice. You have instant crowd control to remove Sea-Doo, and then you just train down the mage with Purge.
0 ranged kicks for the mage.
I don't know.
Right.
I feel maybe then you play Shaman instead of Paladin. I feel like Scatterplay wouldn't be that bad. Training the mage.
What do you think about that, Zico? Should they bring out Jelly?
I mean, I love watching Jelly as much as the next guy, but no. If Jelly's on a Hunter, I want to see him stay on the bench until he plays something else. Until he plays something else, or until Whiskey has mastered another class, which would have to be like Feral Druid or something.
Okay,
Or
what do you
Rat.
think their best option then is for Golden Guardians? Did you hear? Hello?
Is he
Are you asking
frozen?
me or Ben?
Wait, were you talking to me?
know.
I thought you were asking Zico.
I was asking Zico.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Wait, what? I thought you were asking Ben.
Ben. Did you
No,
say that?
man.
Well, two of us think you were asking Ben, and two of us think you were asking Zico. Like, what?
I'm sorry. What?
Dang. I don't even remember what my question is anymore.
Is he frozen? You said what would be their best option if that's not going to work for them?
Yeah.
Well,
What would be their best option, Zico?
I'm sorry, okay? Like, I was,
It's
I
cool,
was
it's cool. I'll
mesmerized by
forgive
Ben
you.
Rookie's camera, how still it was. I was like, is he DC right now?
I was
But,
waiting for your answer, man.
You were excited to hear it. I think the best answer, of course, is Rogue, Shadow Priest, Shaman. Do we have any members of the move? Let me know in the chat right now. Let's go.
What about
Oh
Wiz
yeah,
K?
for sure.
Let's just see Wiz K
Go ahead.
Mage. Just play Rogue Mage Paladin. Just go for it. It's not a mirror.
3K on the ladder? Like, why wouldn't he do
Fake
that?
mirror.
Can
You
we
have
guess maybe
Peekaboo
a
on
little
Rogue.
bit?
Like, you've got Peekaboo on Rogue to guide you through what you need to do aggressively. Like, I feel like it's not actually that bad of an idea.
I don't think it's that bad of an idea either. I think it definitely would have a fair shot in this matchup.
I still
Can
think
we
Hunter
maybe guess a
Shadow
little
Priest
bit
wouldn't be bad.
more now that they've picked Ashermains?
They could run Destro Ellie, but I feel like it's even worse under this. Probably worse. Oh, there it is. Shabri's Rogue.
Oh. Oh.
But you
Chad
guys are actually owing the move Shadow Priest Rogue. You guys are actually like, oh, sad to see it. Like,
Because it's not with the
it's
shaman.
I wanted to see Jelly Beans play. Zico, you wanted to see Absterge on the Shaman?
Well, this is the combo I wanted to see from them, because this is their bread and butter. This is what got them to where they are today. But I would say, compositionally, it's better to have Absterge on the Pally. But, it's been a while since we saw him on the Shaman. I kind of want to see him on the Shaman because of that. But, if they're trying to win, I guess this is fine.
It's always good. But it's also kind of a difficult decision, right? In these moments is like, do you go with your comfort pick, what you know that you're going to do well in, or do you go with something that might be just a little bit of a better choice, like, say, the Holy Paladin that we're seeing Absterge play on Super T's?
The two best Shamans in the game are both playing Pally.
I feel like Ben really wants to say something. Am I wrong?
I don't know if I like this comp. I don't... So Sam I Am is already... There's two things that I really don't like about this composition. First of all, if you're the Golden Guardians, who do you go after? You go after Sea-Doo? I feel like that's probably their only option, to be honest with you. If Sea-Doo uses the Shadow Resistance aura, that's going to be reducing all the Shadow Priest damage, as well as gushing wounds from the Rogue, so that it's massive. And on top of that, Sam I Am can play Dampen Magic, which is another 20% reduction on all Shadow Priest dots, as well as gushing wounds, so... I would never expect in a million years that Sam I Am would actually go down in a matchup like this. I think there's just too much damage reduction. The mages are inherently too tanky anyways. So I just don't know if Golden Guardians has good targets. Like, they could try to go after Trill, but I don't know. I think if he plays well defensively, there's just no openings here for the Golden Guardians, but hopefully they prove me wrong.
Oh, they're starting on Trill. Whiskey is marching in. Sea-Doo gets out of the sap. No follow-up. Absterge in a full polymorph. That could be devastating. Who are they going to go after? Whiskey is the target. Fist of Fury flying. Combustion pop. Big damage coming in on match point. Whiskey disperses just in the nick of time, but his team is still crowd-controlled. He's recovering with that dispersion heal. Absterge now in a stun. Line of sight Sam I Am. Sea-Doo now in a stun as they look to reverse the pressure over onto Trill. Whiskey loading up the team with dots, but getting polymorphed and slowed down quite a lot by Sam I Am. Empiric Embrace keeping the team topped off here. They're waiting for the Hammer Justice and waiting for the Silence. It comes up in 17 seconds before initiating more crowd control. Seems like the name of the game is just attack Sea-Doo, Sam, and Trill simultaneously. They blind up Sea-Doo. He's going to bop off the blind. They go for the Karma as they're going to be an aggressive bop. Trill anticipates it with a Diffuse Magic. They drop a Smoke Bomb anyway in onto Trill, but Absterge is still locked down. Whiskey is still in trouble. Trill is absolutely destroying Whiskey. He fades on 10%. Clutches out a couple Shadow Ments, but that was the Divine Shield to sacrifice basically everything from the Golden Guardians just to keep Whiskey afloat. They try to get aggressive here with the Repentance onto Sea-Doo. They need to probably just net a kill with this crowd control, otherwise they're going to get blown out of the water. Full Mind Bomb to follow up. Trill pre-Fort Bruce the stun. Touch of Death about to explode. It goes off, huge damage. He has to life swap over to Absterge. Now they switch to Absterge. He's got no Divine Shield. He's caught in the leg sweep. They're trying to put him over the edge. He has the Vitality Conduit. This game is burning down quickly.
Yeah, but unfortunately it's only burning down here for the Golden Guardians. I mean, they have no defense left whatsoever. One Blessing of Protection available. Fade's almost back up, and Dispersion rotating up as well. So Golden Guardians obviously not completely out of it yet, but so far, I mean, Mystery Team, they are looking solid. Lots of defense with their composition, but let's see what they can get done. Interrupt onto WizK. Full Polymorph secured onto Absterge. Trill trying to get some damage out the Storm, Earth, and Fire. Big Whirling Dragon Punch. This is Combustion as well. WizK, he just can't get topped off. The Dispersion does land. Absterge trying to reverse the pressure here with a Hammer of Justice onto Sea-Doo. Kitty shot onto Trill. Is Trill going to be in trouble? Sea-Doo does have the Divine Shield and Sacrifice if he needs it. Trill just needs a few more seconds left for the Touch of Karma and the Diffuse Magic, and now he's just going to roll over and continue the assault. And right now, I'd say the Golden Guardians are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, WizK's trying to reposition and line of sight Sam, while Absterge is polymorph. Now coming back into the fight, getting out of the leg sweep, trying to pump out some damage, but the Golden Guardians are just finding no momentum. Absterge is still crowd controlled. WizK goes for the Vampiric Embrace. He's going to be healing quite a bit here while Absterge sits through crowd control, but I'm not sure it'll be enough on its own. A Dragon's Breath to follow it up. Big Drestigath out here by Trill. Absterge recovering with the Vitality Conduit. Sam slowly getting rotted down, but Sea-Doo immediately picks him up. Nice counterspell by Sam I Am here on match point into a full polymorph. Beautiful execution. Sam I Am is going to close this out with a fireball. He gets stunned right at the last second. They go for the power play. Do they have enough damage to close it out? Sacrifice. I don't think it's the ultimate sacrifice. WizK could still die through it. Trill is tearing in. He's on top of Absterge. Absterge might get interrupted as well if he's not careful. Sam I Am just trying to reset that combustion. He's got available, no dispersion. Full Hammer of Justice. Ring of Frost around the corner. Peekaboo's polyed. Are they going to stabilize? He restells off the poly. He stuns Trill. He stuns up the whole team, trying to get them back into the fight. Absterge uses Avenging Wrath, and they hold on for dear life. They're trying to pull off the move Miracle.
Ooh, interrupt on Absurge once again. Nicely done there by Sam I Am. Vitality Conduit will land on WizK and actually top him off. And now Sam I Am actually in a lot of trouble. Finally, some pressure here from the Golden Guardians. Really nicely done. That was almost the cauterize onto Sam I Am. A full kidney shot does land, and Peekaboo has been doing a great job with control on Sam I Am. Triple blinding light. Sam I Am blinks over, gets a full polymorph. Once again, WizK with a preemptive fade to avoid some damage and potentially even get out of line of sight if he can. But Abster doesn't have too many emergency healing cooldowns. He has a Divine Shield, but with no Avenging Wrath and no Ultimate Sacrifice, he's not going to be able to instantly save WizK, and that was the dispersion there, Sid. So at this point, the Golden Guardians, they are running out of options.
All right, let's see. Can they manage to pull this off? It would definitely be in Golden Guardians fashion if they can pull off a win like this. So far behind, backs against the wall, cornered on match point. Trill lands an interrupt that's going to put WizK behind. They have to use Vitality Conduit during that time. They might even switch to Absterge to try and pull him out of line of sight of Poly. Sam I Am blinks in. He secures it. WizK's in a lot of trouble. Fade comes up in 1 second. Is he going to just have to pop it immediately? Peekaboo stabilizes them with a cheap shot on Trill, kidney shot on Sam, dropping the smoke bomb, looking to burst through for the cauterize, but Trill moves in. It's grapple weapons Peekaboo. He can't continue the attack onto Sam. Sidu repositions to restabilize. He's afraid of a Shadow Step kick. Peekaboo rolls over with the sprint. Sidu fakes the kick, I believe, but now he's silenced. Is this actually the miracle? They get the cauterize. If they Master Spell the Ice Block, they might close it out. WizK's not going for it. Holding on to the Master Spell. And now, but they keep themselves in the game. Sidu is locked down and stuns by Peekaboo. He Dragon's Breath Peekaboo. Sam tries to stabilize. He gets purged on his Blazing Barrier. Kicked on the Polymorph. Abster's running away from Sidu's Hammer of Justice. Sam's trying to chase him down for a Poly. Gets stunned up. Sidu pre-sacrifices this. But, I mean, Golden Guardians are keeping themselves in the game here. Oh no,
this is going a lot better than expected. Big setup onto Absurge. He uses the Blessing of Protection as well as a Vitality Conduit, and that is enough for him to breathe. But now after that, he doesn't have too much healing left. They might just continue the assault. Divine Favor! He gets the Divine Favor heal, and that will be enough. Absurge goes for a full Repentance, and now Sam I Am could be in a little bit of trouble. The grapple weapon coming in from Trill. Good backup there to slow down Peekaboo's damage. But this game is a really close call. I mean, you have to give credit to the Golden Guardians. I really didn't think they were able to get too much done in this matchup, but they are still managing to find pressure and keeping this one really, really close. I mean, Sam I Am at this point, he's going to be feeling a little bit scared. WizK getting low, but the dispersion does trade out. Touch of Death rolling there for Trill, does explode into the dispersion, so not too much damage value. Fade is traded out by WizK as well. Then this is the scary moment in the game. There's no fade, there's no swap. Actually does have Void Swap available. WizK actually can swap life once again, so once again, the Golden Guardians do have an answer. Interrupt on Absurge, and WizK gets interrupted as well. Do they have the burst to take him down? It doesn't look like it just yet. Full Ring of Frost onto Absurge, and they're continuing this assault. WizK with the Void Shift onto Peekaboo, but they still are just so far behind in this match.
Blinding Light. Is WizK going to hold on here on match point on 10%? Sacrifice slips through, but it's not the ultimate one. They're still pushing. Absterge, are you going to recover? No Avenging Wrath. 12% dampening. Vampiric Embrace fades. Absterge has to power through. They mind control Trill. They're pulling Trill off into the distance. No one can help. Sam I Am can't finish the job. WizK drops the side fade. He's desperate to try and get some counter pressure here. Absterge keeping his team afloat. His Avenging Wrath comes up in 8. He goes for the Hammer of Justice. Are the Golden Guardians going to pull this off in a miracle fashion? There's just a match point. They've been devastated this whole series. They might be able to. Sam is so critically low. Big Divine Favor in from Sidu. Dispelling out the Vampiric, but into a Mind Bomb. Nice Mind Bomb. Divine Shield forced by Sidu. Sam is now so critically low. Avenging Wrath popped. Big heals coming in. Absterge bubbles out of the stun lock here to try and save WizK. Big Divine Favor comes in from him as well. WizK's interrupted. Holy Light's just bombing in one after the other. WizK retreating away from Sam, trying to just stay alive in this game. Sidu charges in, but he walks into a full blind.
Ooh, full blind into a full sap. Sam I Am, what are you gonna do? Dragon's Breath over onto Peekaboo right now. Sam I Am spamming out the polymorphs right now. Sam I Am still just getting lower and lower. Sidu with no healing cooldowns of silence into a Hammer of Justice, and the Golden Guardians do it. I didn't think it could be done, but they managed to prove me wrong, and not for the first time. Very nicely done there by the Golden Guardians, playing the Shadow Priest Rogue, and honestly, pulling out miracles.
It is now 2-1. Golden Guardians having just won that last game, and now they're finding themselves back in a place where they could potentially turn this series around for them if they win this next game. That's going to be a tie, 2-2 for these two teams here, Zico. Let's talk about that last game, how Golden Guardians was able to secure a victory. We saw them lose fairly quickly the first two games, and now they just won, putting themselves 2-1.
Yeah, Golden Guardians. They're able to,
1-2. Sorry.
Yeah, they still need to win 2 more to win the entire series. So there's still a match point against the Quadra question marks here, but I don't know what it is, but every single time the Golden Guardians, they just manage to barely hold on. It's Whiskey has no cooldown, and he's just spamming out the mind controls while Abster is sitting in a cheap, basically praying that he's going to survive. And they always hold on very, very narrowingly, and then somehow later on they find the kill, they get the blind, they get the sap, they get the silence and the hammer of justice and everything, and beautiful chain is gonna allow them to get that kill. But we always have to ask, how likely is this to happen again? I feel like Whiskey died at least 5 times that game.
Yeah, and like you were saying, they kind of barely pulled that off there, and now they don't even have the draft advantage like they did in that last game. Now it's going to be Mystery Org's map pick, and this is going to be a really tough next game for them then if they want to try and tie it up against Mystery Org.
Yeah, it definitely is. What I'm wondering is, what is Mystery Org going to be able to run? So if we see the Shadow Priest Rogue Paladin locked in blind, are we going to see the same composition come in from Mystery Org? I mean, that was such a close matchup. I wouldn't blame them if that did happen, but I'm kind of wondering if they have a better option here.
What do you think about that, Super Tees? How do we think this draft process is going to go? Do we have any guesses on maybe what map choice we're going to see, or what comp from Mystery Org we're going to see coming out?
I feel like they had that game. I almost kind of think that they should have switched to Peekaboo whenever he doesn't have Gladiator's Medallion, and if they have any stuns, like Blink Dragon's Breath Sheep Absterge and then Hammer of Justice Peekaboo or something like that. It seems like they didn't punish Peekaboo enough in that game, and I believe he's running full gushing. I mean, he has to be, right? So he's running full gushing. You catch him in a stun with no Gladiator's Medallion, it's pretty easy KO. He's also Night Elf. He's not human, so that would be his only way of getting out of stuns. I think Cedar's team should play the same comp, but switch to Peekaboo a little bit more in the game.
Okay, so definitely looking pretty strong on the side of Mystery Org, and then as I was saying, of course, they do have that draft advantage. They have locked in Hook Point here. Now it's Golden Guardians pick. Do we think, now that we've got a little bit more insight into what this game's going to look like, they've got Hook Point locked in here, Zico, how do we think this next match is going to go? Do we know maybe what Golden Guardians is going to pick as a counter?
If I was Golden Guardians, I would just pick the same thing, blind, and hope for the best. I think that's what they're going to do. And depending on what they pick, I think we could expect to see what the 4 question marks pick. Yeah, Golden Guardians are going to play Shadow Priest, Pally, Rogue. So I would assume we're probably going to see the same comp as well from Mystery Org.
Okay. How likely is this go to go to a game 5? I mean, this is, Mystery Org only needs 1 more game to win here if they want to shut it down with a 3-1, and it just seems like Golden Guardians struggling a little bit here in this matchup.
Well, I think for the Golden Guardians, this is definitely an uphill battle for them. I think Mystery Org kind of has their number with this composition. There was tons of close calls. I mean, WizK barely holding on. Someone in the chat said something really funny. They're like, warning, if you are a Move fan or you're a Golden Guardians fan, like, be prepared to have your heart rate or your blood pressure go up by quite a bit. I mean, their games are just so intense. The way they win, I don't know how a lot of the time they're able to do it. They really are just, battling uphill the entire time, but managed to find a win. But I think Mystery Org, especially what Super T said, if they can find more consistent setups onto Peekaboo, he can go down really quickly. And unfortunately for Peekaboo, the only thing that can save him is either WizK peeling like a madman or his Gladiator's Medallion. And if he doesn't have that, He doesn't have that same kind of freedom to dispersion as often as WizK or fade as often as WizK, and I think he's a lot more of a vulnerable target. You can't really train him, but the swaps are great.
I feel like the Golden Guardians.
And I think that's... What?
I was just going to say, I think the Golden Guardians are a team that like walking uphill both ways in the middle of a blizzard to get to school. They just like that. That's what they like doing.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's really why I think their team, the Golden Guardians, the Move, have such a strong, loyal fan base. These guys, they're one of those teams that really never gives up. They're super fun personalities. They always have super interesting gameplay and answers to comps that might be a little bit difficult to face off against. And I don't know, this is just a really, really... when I saw the schedule for today, this is probably one of the matchups that I was most excited about. Now, we're a little bit behind chat here with the stream, but I really, really hope that we're seeing the Move spam some emotes and some love for these guys. They really need your guys' energy. They really want to tie this up, of course, against Mystery Org here. And I'm just excited to get this game started here. But what do we think the win condition here for Mystery Org is going to be, maybe in the opener here, Supatees? What can that opener look like for these guys?
You just train Shadow Priest until the Rogue opens himself up to getting swapped to. I think there are points where Peekaboo needs to trinket to save somebody else, and then when that happens, then you switch gears. And then you start going after the Rogue a little bit more. I feel like, actually, maybe even it's possible to just tunnel the Rogue and polymorph the Shadow Priest. There's not a lot of interrupts, right? So Sam I Am's going to have a much easier time in this matchup specifically. So I think it's all targeting. They just need to punish the Rogue for being an easier target to kill, especially with the Gushing Wounds build that Peekaboo is running. And I think if they do that, they'll close it out. They've picked a really small map. Could backfire if the Golden Guardians go after Trill. So I'm curious to see how it plays out.
All right, and the wait is over now. It is Golden Guardians versus Mystery Org.
Yep. And let's see. I mean, we'll have to see what kind of opener we do see from the Golden Guardians. Likely, they're just all about survival. It's all about big crowd control change on Sea-Doo, and then try to take down Sam I Am. Let's see what Peekaboo does. He's sitting in stealth right now. WizK and Absurge are going to be sitting back. Peekaboo looking to create an opportunity with his team. Who is he going to be able to sap? If anyone, he's just playing it very patiently right now. I wonder what target he's looking for. Definitely does not want to get found. Trill kind of spinning around with spinning crane kick. Wants to find that onto Sea-Doo if he can, but he's just going to be sitting there. This is a little bit risky from Peekaboo. I'm surprised not to see them kind of just go for it, but maybe Sea-Doo, Trill, and Sam had combat somehow, and that's why he's not able to sap, but looks like they are just going to be sitting back and waiting for their moment, their opportunity.
Pretty sure Absurd judgmented, and then Trill and Sea-Doo are just trading combat with the spell. It's weird, because I'm wondering, like, does Mystery Org get an advantage by just waiting? Because it's the Golden Guardians who seem to always win when it gets into that deep dampening stage when they play the Shadow Priest variant at least. So I'm not sure if choosing to wait is the best choice for them. Sam I Am is sneaking in on the right. WizK getting ready maybe to dot him up. Trill gets stunned as Peekaboo engages crowd control. Silence Mind Bomb onto Sea-Doo. Good execution. Sam I Am is isolated. WizK's trying to rip in here. Nice sap off the Mind Bomb. That's a cheeky setup play from the Golden Guardians initially here, but Sam blinks back with Temporal. That heals him for quite a lot. Divine Favor to follow it up shortly. He smoke bombs the Divine Favor heal. WizK purchases off the Divine Favor. Clutch play there between Peekaboo and WizK. If they can get an Avenging Wrath because of that, they might be able to etch a little bit ahead, but they're not finding it. Sea-Doo's charging in. Triple crowd control here by Mystery Org. WizK pre-fades, anticipating a lot of damage here, but the fade is now over. He's going to get bursted down by that Drestagath. He's mind control spamming Sam I Am. Trying to recover with Abster's support. Now Abster's charging in, getting ready to go for a Repentance. Looking to potentially get that out of the blind. Peekaboo without Vanish has to Shadow Meld. Gets the sap. They've isolated Sam. If they can get a Master Spell on the Ice Block, it could be a kill if they're not careful. Repentance out of the sap. Great crowd control chain by the Golden Guardians. Excellent early offense. Silenced on the break on the stun, but Sacrifice slipped through right before it, so Sam should begin to stabilize. I will say Golden Guardians offense here in game number 4 is a lot better.
It's looking really good, and as a result of that offense, it's been really difficult for Mystery Org to actually get anything rolling. They haven't got much crowd control, if any, onto Absterge in this match. A full Repentance lands once again onto Sea-Doo. That is super unfortunate. Sam I Am actually blinks in, looking for a Polymorph. Gets denied. Now a Mind Bomb out of that Repentance. Great crowd control here for the Golden Guardians, but unfortunately there's just no damage to follow it up. Polymorph on Peekaboo. Dragon's Breath Polymorph on a Peekaboo, but here's the Psyfiend immediately killed there by Trill. Paralyze, rolling over, and maybe they're actually going to be going after Absurge. Big all-in, Blessing of Protection. It gets Hammer of Justice on it, and that is another option for them in this matchup. Whenever they do have that combustion, they can make a big setup over onto Absurge. As long as Sam can polymorph Wiz-K, then I think they're going to be okay to really get aggressive. And I think Absurge, if he runs out of outs, if he doesn't have, his every man for himself, he doesn't have the Blessing of Protection, he doesn't have the Divine Shield, it's going to be really scary for him to survive those setups.
Double Blinding Light onto Peekaboo and Absurge. Wiz-K trying to reposition, back out in the midfield. Absurge very close to Sea-Doo. Who's going to get crowd controlled first? Hammer of Justice, Cheap Shot into Repentance. I love the synergy of the Golden Guardians here. Great chain. Divine Shield is going to be forced on this attempt. Maybe even more. They Mass Dispel off the Divine Shield, really putting the pressure on Sea-Doo right here. Looking to take it to a game number 5. They're going to get the Cauterize. They get the Ice Block. No Mass Dispel available for Wiz-K, but they're holding that low health. Sea-Doo needs to get some big heals out right now. Avenging Wrath going to be more than enough. Peekaboo is just making it so annoying, silencing Sea-Doo now with those Garrotes. Trill suddenly low on health, has to use the Fort Brew. Pressure on multiple locations. I mean, this is a very improved Golden Guardians, but they're going for a swap again onto Absurge. He has to Divine Shield, and the Mystery Org keep themselves in the game.
That was beautiful. The first one, they get Blessing and Protection. The second, they get Divine Shield. It wasn't even that clean of a setup. That wasn't even combustion from Sam. So, this is looking scary for Absurge. Wiz-K, what he needs to do is hold on to his Gladiator's Medallion so he can use Void Shift. If he can get the life swap with his Medallion, that's going to be a great tool they can use to actually keep Absurge alive in the next swap. If he uses the Gladiator's Medallion to keep himself alive without trading out Dispersion, I think it's going to be a little bit of a mistake. So definitely have to hold on to that combo. Otherwise, Absurge is going to be a world of trouble. But we do see the Golden Guardians getting really aggressive here. Sap onto Sea-Doo. He gets caught into a Hammer of Justice out of that Sap. He used a Blessing of Protection, immediate crowd control. And now Sea-Doo is moving forward, looking for a Blinding Light. Kick onto Sam. Big damage onto Absurge, and it is Wiz-K who trinkets. So Wiz-K trading out his trinket is what does keep Absurge alive. And that buys the Golden Guardians just a little bit more time.
Well, Repentance from Absurge trying to snipe Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo line of sights it. Good positioning by Sea-Doo. Absurge is still relentlessly going for it. He's got to be careful. He should just run away from the fight for at least 26 more seconds. He gets caught in a Ring of Frost. They could set up on this. They've got leg sweep available. They're just holding Absurge out in midfield. Looks like they're actually going after Wiz-K. Ring of Peace on his retreat path. Trying to switch it up. Maybe they're becoming a little bit too predictable. But now Sea-Doo is stunned up. There's really only Cauterize for Sam. Sea-Doo denies the stun with the every man for himself. Divine Favor, nice heal comes in from Sea-Doo. Both teams looking stable at the moment. Cooldowns, though, are starting to fall apart on both sides. Mind Control on Sam. Wiz-K just stalling the game in this position. We have a mana advantage, although I don't think this game ultimately comes down to mana. Holy Paladins have the Divine Revelations Azerite trait that effectively makes them have infinite mana, so this is likely going to be purely setup and swap-based victories for either team. Sam trying to control Peekaboo with that Frost Nova. Got Wrestling of Freedom removes it. Absurge into Paralyzer setting up for the swap. Absurge has Divine Shield though, so he just simply trades that out for Combustion. Now re-engaging with crowd control on Sea-Doo. Big explosive pressure onto Sam. This is easily going to be the Cauterize if they keep this up. Psyfiend to try and deny some of its healing effects. Cauterize's proc. Sam is just melting down. Full blind. No way to break out of the blind. There's no way Sam stays alive. Is he really? No. 1 second away. Even a silence to follow it up. Golden Guardians battle it back all the way to a game 5. And that one looked so solid.
This is absolutely mental. Golden Guardians able to tie it up 2-2, and now at this point, it's anyone's game here going into game number 5 of this series. Ven, let's talk about that last match. Golden Guardians is really just shaping up really nicely in this series.
Yeah, I mentioned at the beginning of the game, it just seemed like their offense was a lot better. And the fact that they just had so much more pressure, so much more crowd control onto Sea-Doo, made it really difficult for Mystery Org to actually get anything rolling. I really like the setups onto Absurge, but the ineffable Truth Paladin, it seems like he just always had an answer. I like what Absurge was doing. He wasn't messing around, so if he got stunned, it was an immediate Blessing and Protection. If he got stunned, it was immediate Divine Shield. Like, just trading them out, not getting behind on his cooldowns, not letting the Mystery Org get too much pressure. But these setups from the Golden Guardians, that was a really long crowd control chain onto Sea-Doo. Unfortunately, there's not too much that Sam actually could have done And I'm wondering at this point if we see Sea-Doo, Sam-I-Am, and Trill switch it up a little bit. And if they are going to switch it up, what do we want to see them run?
Yeah, do you guys have any answers to that, Super Teaser Zico? What do you think we're going to see them run on the side of Mystery Org?
Windwalker DK.
I wonder if Warrior. What about Warrior Mage Mistweaver?
I feel like Sea-Doo will die. I don't know why,
Could
but I
work.
just feel like Sea-Doo's going to die if they do that.
I think they
Warriors
need
have
self-healing.
really good peels.
I feel like self-healing is good into the Golden Guardians.
Do you,
like, why don't they just
do you
play
think
Demon
that-
Hunter comp?
for Mystery Org?
Yes. Like a DH DK or something. DH Windwalker.
So, I mean, Golden Guardians are obviously on fire here. We can see Mystery Org stats on the screen, and you know they've had this whole series against Golden Guardians to sort of try and figure out maybe how to get back on track here and try and secure that Game 5 victory. So, I mean, is this sustainable? Let's say that Mystery Org locks in that same composition, Golden Guardians also locking in their composition. Is this something that Golden Guardians can continue to do, or is Mystery Org going to maybe be able to figure something out here, Supties?
It's like they have so many options that it's like, what do they do? I mean, this comp looked really good on Ashamains. I thought that they were going to be able to win, but now seeing it play out on Hook Point, maybe it's a map thing. Maybe they should go for a bigger map. Maybe Hook Point wasn't good because it was a small map, although they did try to exploit going after the Paladin more with it, but it just seemed like Absterge had a good rotation of cooldowns. They couldn't really exploit it. So the Golden Guardians I don't expect will change anything. They'll just continue to play the Shadow Priest Rogue Paladin.
And this is going to be Mystery Org's map choice. Sid maybe had a couple of predictions on that. I want to hear your thoughts, though, Ven, on maybe that map choice that we're going to be seeing on the side of Mystery Org as it is their choice.
That's hard. I mean, it kind of depends on what they want to set up. Right now, Mr. Team, they have so many different compositional options. They could go for a cleave. I think more so than anything, Ruins of Lordaeron. What does Ruins of Lordaeron say? The problem with Ruins of Lordaeron for me is if Absterge is playing Paladin, he's going to be able to get out, lots of repentances. He's going to be able to close the distance very quickly to go for Hammer of Justice and kind of set up crowd control for his team. So I don't think this is that bad of a map for the Golden Guardians. However, what does this mean that the Mystery Org want to play? For some reason, I feel like they're going to play Warrior Mage Mistweaver. I've said that a few times today, though, so maybe I really like that composition or something.
If they pick that, my prediction is Sea-Doo flops.
Oof.
Really?
I think
If
Sea-Doo
they pick that
will
up,
flop.
my prediction is
Jeez.
that Golden Guardians are winning this. It's my prediction.
What's your prediction then, Ven?
Okay.
If they Mage Warrior.
I want to. Okay, so what does the Mystery Org need to play for your prediction to be that they're going to win?
Melee cleave. Like DH, Windwalker.
I think melee cleave is kind of a nightmare, honestly. Like, what ends up happening, I think, is Peekaboo just kidney shots the Demon Hunter, and then WizKid and Abster just get free reigning crowd control on the healer, and it's really, really difficult for the Demon Hunter to survive. I think.
You can just play rain from above, go up in the air, spit some lances. Like, I think you're chilling.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. That's what I want to see. Otherwise, for me, it's a hashtag Golden Guardians win.
All
Maybe
right.
Windwalker
Okay.
DK.
Yeah, that's
Windwalker
what the Coffin Dance was playing. I want to see the same comp.
Yeah, I don't like Demon Hunter.
Wait,
I
Windwalker
think Demon
DK or
Hunter dies in a
Windwalker
kidney
Demon
shot.
Hunter? Windwalker Demon Hunter is what Coffin Dance was.
All right, you want to see Windwalker DH? Sorry,
Yeah, he wants to see
DK.
Windwalker
I want to see
Death Knight.
Windwalker
DK
Death
DH.
Knight.
What?
No.
Windwalker,
Windwalker
Death Knight.
and a Death Knight.
That's what I asked. And you were like, no. DK?
No.
Windwalker.
No.
Our communication
No
today
Demon Hunter.
is not the best.
Yes, I get
No
it. That's
Demon
why I
Hunter.
asked.
You guys are
Okay, that's fine.
all
I
right.
got it.
They,
DK DH. Yeah, I would be down
All
with
right.
that as well.
okay, but
hashtag
they've locked
GG
in the
win.
composition. Okay, so we've got a composition from Mystery Org. They're going to be playing Holy Paladin, Fire Mage, and Windwalker. Now that we have the map, we have compositions from both sides. What do we think about this?
Well,
How do we think this is going to go?
Honestly, it's 2-2. It's the same comps that we've seen all the way. and it is what map is that, Sid?
It's a Lordaeron.
Can I say something before Sid does his thing? I just have to compliment these new fly-throughs of the map. I think have been the best we've ever seen. Like, they're
They are really
good.
pretty. They're kind of
really
peaceful.
well done.
I kind of just sometimes
Whoever
just
did
want to
these new
stop talking.
fly-throughs,
and-
I definitely approve. I think they're great.
I think it was Spoon, if I had to guess. Spoon
was.
and
Good
Vanguard's
job.
probably made them.
Big thumbs up.
they are really nice. It's cool to see all of the cool new things that we're adding here with the BFA AWC circuit. We've got those cool new fly-ins. We've got the player stats. We have the player cameras too from those of them that provided a camera for us. It's definitely cool to see that level of production step up, even with the fact that we are a remote broadcast. Everybody is working from their own home. And with that, Sid, do you wanna do your thing?
Wait, what thing?
Is he
What do you
muted?
mean?
I don't
You
know.
might be muted.
what?
What's happening?
What thing?
I'm not the only one with microphone issues today.
Wait, am I muted?
You were.
Yeah, you were.
Wait, no, I
I think it's
wasn't.
too
so
soon for the
awkward.
thing. I think it's too soon
Okay,
for the
okay.
thing.
I mean, yeah, we'll let him do it naturally.
It's
but
gotta be like
we are.
the time.
It's
gonna say the
my
time needs to be
joke,
just 15
okay?
seconds,
Let me do it the
Okay,
right
okay,
way.
okay. There we go. Okay,
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 do
okay,
it.
okay. All right, okay, do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Game 5, Golden Guardians versus the Mystery Org. We're on Ruins of Lordaeron, and it would be a fitting final resting place, as it is a cemetery.
You Mystery Org versus Golden Guardians. Take it away, guys.
Well, here we go. Sam I Am already taking big pressure. Silence on Decidu very early on. And we'll have to see. The Mystery Org, they're actually going to be doing it. They're going to be going after Peekaboo. They get the medallion right away. They tried WizK, didn't work. They tried Absurge, unfortunately weren't able to find the victory. And maybe third time's the charm. Going after Peekaboo, already burning through his Vanish, already burning through his medallion. Double Blinding Light. Peekaboo's still in some trouble. Kidney shot onto Samion, but Trill is just all over him at this point. Realizing it's unlikely Peekaboo will go down without some sort of crowd control on him, like a leg sweep, they're just going to be going after WizK to try to slow down the Golden Guardians.
Oh, big damage on a Sam. Sea-Doo stabilizing with the Sacrifice, Avenging Wrath. Abstract is polymorphed, though. Leg sweep comes up in 20. I can imagine that Trill wants to switch immediately when that's available. Sea-Doo's Avenging Wrath is rolling. WizK's just spamming mind controls during the Avenging Wrath timing, trying to stall out as much healing as possible. Setting up here with the Psy Feint. Trill kills it immediately. Leg sweep comes up in 5 seconds. Touch of Death available. Absterge and WizK need to get ready for this assault. Peekaboo immediately is retreated to the pillar and prepared for this. He knows he's going to be the target, so he's just trying to restyle. Samion blinks and Frost Novas him out. Sea-Doo, though, caught in a Mind Bomb Repentance chain. Sap out of the Mind Bomb, actually, instead. Sea-Doo actually respects it. Divine Shields immediately. Goes for a big heal. Samion stabilizes. Absterge paralyzing the leg sweep. They life grip the paralyzed. Trill can't connect. Actually switching to Absterge. Really mixing it up here by Mystery Org. And they get that maybe because the Sacrifice was utilized there. So it was kind of a preemptive decision by Absterge. They're forced to go after him. Now Absterge charges in. Hammers are down. He's going to break out with every man for himself. Peekaboo caught into a leg sweep, full polymorph. That has to be the Divine Shield and the Void Shift, and maybe even everything else. It might not matter. Insane damage out from Mystery Org. They blow out the entire defensive lineup of the Golden Guardians in one swing.
Ooh, that was such a nice setup. Absurge using a lot of cooldowns there as well as Peekaboo, but the thing for Peekaboo is he has that medallion rotating back up, so that does mean he'll likely be able to survive the next setup that we do see from Mystery Org. But these consistent setups on the Peekaboo, I think, are a ticket to victory for Mystery Org if they can do it. But the Golden Guardians are looking to strike back right now. You see crowd control on the Sea-Doo, Kading shot on the Sam I Am, but it doesn't look like they have anything more. And as a result, Sea-Doo should be able to get out some heals and potentially top off Sam I Am. Actually going for a Blink Polymorph. He gets mind controlled on it. Really nicely done there by WizK. These mind controls have been crucial for them getting pressure in this match.
All right, let's see if they can keep it up here. Sam caught in a kidney shot. Sea-Doo uses Sacrifice, but it's not the ultimate Sacrifice. They're cutting through it. They're looking for Connor Ice. Peekaboo gets freedom out of the Frost Nova. Sami blinks out of range. Polymorphing WizK trying to stall. They paralyze double leg sweep. Beautiful triple crowd control by Mystery Org. Hammer of Justice on the trinket, trying to power down through Vitalis. Defense, he vanishes the Touch of Death. Shadow steps over, stuns up Sam. and stays alive for now, but it was two players medallions. Abster sneaks in with the Repentance, trying to keep his team in the match here. Over onto Sam. Peekaboo looking to blind out of the Repentance. Sidu immediately busting and protections that off. Sam likely to spell steal it and try and get some benefit. They've got Peekaboo and a Polymorph. They're going after WizK. Neither team really in a comfortable position here in Game 5.
Yeah, Peekaboo still just charging after Sam I Am. WizK with no Trinket and no Void Shift isn't going to be much of a help to Peekaboo, and I think this next setup is going to be huge. Absurge is going to have to respond appropriately as the Divine Shield as well as the Sacrifice, so I think it's likely that we see that traded out almost immediately if we do see Mystery Org get the stun onto Peekaboo once again, and that stun is coming up relatively soon here for Trill. Sam I Am, nice smoke bomb by Peekaboo. Sam I Am is completely locked down. Hammer of Justice now onto Sidu. Do they have any more crowd control? The Repentance does land onto Sidu, but some big heals onto Sam I Am will keep him alive. Yeah, Silence, so not completely out of it. Divine Shield actually trades out. Double Blinding Light, big setup onto Peekaboo. Divine Shield Sacrifice should keep him alive, and that's the response I wanted from Absturge to actually keep Peekaboo up. Don't deny it, or don't wait too long. Keep Peekaboo alive, but now if you look, Golden Guardians, they don't have an answer for the next stun, and Peekaboo could still just fall at any moment. Polymorph onto Absurge. Is there any more crowd control? Dragon's Breath comes in from Samheim. Can he find another one? Unfortunately, no. The Vitality Conduit does land, and Absurge keeps Peekaboo in the fight.
These mind controls, these stuns by Peekaboo really keeping the team in this fight right now on match point as the Golden Guardians look to pull off the miracle and reverse sweep the Mystery Org. Can they keep it up? Peekaboo's grapple weapon. He can't really get any damage out at this time. Sidu is silenced. Mind Bomb, good follow-up. Do they have anything out of the Mind Bomb like Repentance? Abster just charging into position, but no sap, no Repentance. The chain is dropped. Sidu is bombing in big heals. Sidu looks like he wants to maybe move in on top of Abster for Hammer of Justice. WizK's moving close to Sidu as well. Both Paladins with no Divine Shield could be a swap target for either side. WizK's right on top of Sidu's retreat path, pushing him back into Abster at the Tombstone. Who's going to get the first Hammer of Justice? Abster is chasing. They go for blind. They bop off the blind. Is he going to stun the bop? Mind Control spams here. Mind Control on the Blink Poly. Beautiful timing. WizK caught in the stun. Immediate Vitality Conduit over there to try and recover. Both teams stabilize, so evenly matched, but Absterge is starting to almost be tapped on mana. It might be a problem in the immediate future. Pretty faint here, but Absterge gets counterspell. Beautiful timing. Evasion by Peekaboo, dodging all the attacks. Shadow Step kick on the Polymorph. Nice shutdown by Peekaboo.
Yeah, Peekaboo doing a great job stopping the crowd control, and now they're actually making a swap onto Absurge. Hammer of Justice, big meteor lands as well. I think Absurge should be more than fine. Divine Favor, entire Golden Guardian side topped off. Got a reset on health pools, but Peekaboo still just dancing with death in this game. Cloak of Shadow's not up for another 20 seconds. Evasion not going to be available. There's no Vanish either, so the defensive tools really lacking here for the Golden Guardians, but they're continuing to make this offensive push. Sam I Am, unfortunately, really not pressured at this moment of the game. It just seems like momentum is heavily in favor of the side of Mystery Org. Now, it looks like Sam I Am still going to be fine through that kidney shot. No crowd control on Sidu, the Avenging Wrath. Big heals coming in. Now full Polymorph lands. Peekaboo immediately using his Cloak of Shadows, trying to run, trying to hide. Touch of Death is rolling. The Blinding Light. Can Peekaboo survive? He uses the Feint. They're so close to taking him down, but Absurge with the Divine Shield and the Holy Lights keeps Peekaboo alive once again.
Close call time and time again here, but look at the mana. He's totally tapped, but he sneaks into Repentance. They're pushing for the Cauterize. They need to get a Cauterize with this crowd control. I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. They're so close. 1 second away from finding it. Mind Bomb to fall off. They need to get Cauterize during this. Trill is trying to deny it with some heals. Sam, no, the Cauterize triggers. If they get Ice Block as well, they're still in the game. They're powering through it. 10 more seconds to Avenger up by the Silence. It has to be the Ice Block. Blazing Barrier gets stripped off. They Ice Block. He Smoke Bombs Sidu, so he can't heal Sam. He stuns him into a Repentance. Sidu has to Divine Shield. Excellent execution by the Golden Guardians to keep themselves in the game. The only thing is that WizK overlapped his Trinket with Peekaboo. If he's crowd controlled and he can't use Void Shift, Peekaboo could go down. That one mistake could cost Golden Guardians the game, but both teams are in a position where they can win.
I think this is it. I think Mystery Org, if they can just get off one clean setup, it's going to be a win. There's the double stun, the combustion as well. Hammer of Justice does land. I don't know if Peekaboo's going to be able to escape. He shadow steps over to Sam I Am. Void Shift comes in from WizK, and unfortunately, I think that setup was just a little bit rushed. Polymorph does land onto Absurge, Blinding Light, and Peekaboo still on the run. Evasion, Feint, Vanish going to be available as well. I think Peekaboo's going to be able to survive, but I can't help but feel like if Mystery Org just played it just a slight bit more patient, they had a checkmate situation, and they might have just thrown away this victory.
Full Mind Bomb. Maybe they still got a shot here. Double Dragon's Breath trying to stall. Peekaboo's trying to sap out of the Mind Bomb. He shadow steps over for the sap. Sea-Doo bops it off immediately. Absurge in a full polymorph. Peekaboo in a lot of trouble. He silences Sam. He's trying to pull away from the fight, but Absurge is still locked down in crowd control. Mind controls on Trill. These mind controls from WizK have been key to their survival in this. Absurge is healing with no mana left in the tank at 22% dampening. The next crowd control could close it out. I feel like Peekaboo is going to be looking like he's in a good spot in about 15 seconds. And mind control Sam at low health. Repentance gets counterspelled by Absurge. That could be a turnaround by Sam. WizK's just smashing out these mind controls. Absurge walks in, but walks into a double stun, into a poly, but nice mass dispel immediately removes the poly. Absurge pre-sacrifices the second one, getting right on top of Sea-Doo, looking for that repentance. Sea-Doo trying to run away, but he gets caught. Sam I am stunned up. This could be the game. Psyfiend is out. Trill rolls over to kill the Psyfiend. Temporal Shield is ticking away. Sam gonna heal back up. Both these teams playing out of their minds. Game 5 completely down to the wire.
Yeah, it really is too close to call at this point. Golden Guardians, Absurge completely out of mana. Triple Blinding Light coming in from Sea-Doo. Do they have the setup? Peekaboo gets the full kidney shot onto Salmon. Vitality Conduit coming in from Absurge once again. That's the last little bit of mana, the last cooldown he really has to keep his team alive. Hammer of Justice now onto Sea-Doo. But a mind control on Sam denies any polymorph, any setup that they have available. Combustion just gets ripped out by Sam. That gets dispelled immediately. A little bit impatient there. Not really able to get too much done, but a 30% dampening. Really just trying to generate some pressure and momentum from his team. You can't really blame him at this point. I mean, Golden Guardians, they have a bit of a reset. Divine Shield's still going to be available as well, as both these Paladins, Sea-Doo and Absurge, have some cooldowns to keep their team alive for a little bit longer.
All right, let's see. Can Mystery Org pull this off, or are they going to be reverse sweep? They need to buy at least another minute for that ice block. Sea-Doo breaks out of the stun. He still has Divine Shield if he needs it, but he's silenced on his Divine Favor. They could purge off that big heal. Mind Bomb. Is there going to be a sap? Vanish comes up in 3 seconds. Sea-Doo Divine Shields the chain. That was his every man for himself and Divine Shield in one crowd control chain. That's devastating. Sam is mind controlled on the Divine Shield. They smoke bomb him out of line of sight into a kidney shot. Excellent execution by the Golden Guardians. Sick plays. Pre-Vitality Conduit onto Peekaboo. He's going to stabilize. Sam still desperate. They go for a double blinding light. Hammer of Justice over on the Peekaboo. They dispel him out. They go for sacrifice. Both these teams are playing absolutely insane at the moment to stall this game out as long as it has here in game number 5. They both want to win so badly. How is Abster still going? He's had 0 mana for like the better part of 2 minutes straight. Full blind. No way out. But Abster gets counterspelled. Sam on the ropes. 24 seconds away from his ice block. Is he going to make it to that? 20 seconds. Trill is trying to stall. He paralyzes Peekaboo. Sam blinks, Ring of Frost himself at the Tombstone. He just needs 15 more seconds. Is he going to be able to make it? It's mind controlled in the Divine Favor. Big heal from Sea-Doo, clutches out, but now into a Hammer of Justice. 8 seconds away. 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Touch of Death is rolling for Trill. He's trying to counter press her. 2 seconds away from Ice Block. Sam lives to it, and he's going to have that in his back pocket. Big blast of damage onto Peekaboo by Trill. How are both these teams alive then?
They're playing absolutely insane. What an incredible Game 5. The closest series we have seen today. 40% dampening. Both these teams are running out of time. Combustion's rolling. Peekaboo getting so low. There's no defense left whatsoever. Paralyzed onto Absurge. They just need a little bit more damage. Peekaboo still just hanging on by a thread and gets taken down. Golden Guardians almost with the absolutely amazing comeback. But the mystery team was able to do it with this Windwalker Mage Paladin. They will secure their first win in this round robin.
You are absolutely right, Ben. That was one of the closest matches we've seen so far today. Mystery Org versus Golden Guardians, all the way to a Game 5, but Mystery Org just came out on top at the last minute there, though, Zico. It looked pretty close several times where either side really could have gone down. What was it that turned it around for Mystery Org? Where did it start to go wrong for Golden